Hello everybody, Oswald St. Oswald here. Maybe this will help. And I was going to do what I think about veganism today, but I think that I'm going to do self-sabotage part 2. And probably not going to tell you anything you don't know, but the last couple days I've been really sabotaging, but in a good way. And also, it's only a good way because of what I did with it, I guess. Basically, I have been, I've had some goals, and it's starting to get to time to put up or shut up. And I had excuses before, justifiable excuses, things I actually wanted to do. I think I was totally right in all the things I said before, and then I started getting amped up to continue this journey, and then I started to self-doubt and make some bad food choices late at night, things like that. And I'd be like, oh, tomorrow I'm better, or oh, I only did this much, so it's okay. But I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I feel it, and I'm okay with it. But when I go back to, or when faced with, it's really time to put up or shut up, or work, or do more, then you get this pressure on you, and you're just like, oh, I just want to relax, or I just want to do this, and that's fine. Like, sometimes you need to relax, you need to trust your intuition, you need to listen to your body and things like that. But when I start making low vibe choices, like eating crappy food, especially at inopportune times, and like late at night, things like that, then all of a sudden I'm not drinking enough water during the day, I'm not paying attention to that as much. All of a sudden I'm not thinking, I'm more okay with things, and I go, oh, tomorrow, but then tomorrow I wake up and then I'm right into the bad decisions. I'm right into the low vibe decisions, and I feel how it affects my energy, it affects my will. And yesterday I sabotaged myself immediately as soon as I woke up, and I started feeling really bad about it. I started just, my mind racing, like, what is this, and why am I making these decisions? Oh, well, it's Saturday, it's fine, I'll just start tomorrow. I probably needed to do this, and it's a funny thing, because now I'm more in tune. I'm able to listen to myself more. Before I felt like I should be doing something and whatnot. Before Ray left, I felt like, oh, I should be doing something more, and I was kind of stressing myself out about it, and that was what was causing me the stress, that causing me the low energy. And when I finally just accepted what I truly wanted to do, then it didn't really bother me so much. It was fine. But this time, I really wanted to act and do good things, and I found myself doing not so good things that I'd already gotten away from again. And instead of it improving, instead of me weaning off or slowly transitioning, I was going full force the other way. And I realize now that you gotta be careful, you gotta be in tune with yourself. And what I learned yesterday was I started feeling bad about myself. Oh, I'm self-sabotaging. Oh, I always do this. Oh, this is classic me. When am I ever gonna stop? How come I only have passion for stuff for this amount of time, and then it gets hard? But when truly, that's just part of the sabotage. I realized that instead of having creative solutions, okay, so I did sabotage myself today, but instead of enjoying this food I ate, enjoying this mental state I was in, instead of just making the best of it, finding a creative solution to something, I just shut myself down and make myself feel bad and go, oh, I guess today's shot, I guess I'll try harder tomorrow. But instead I was like, you know what? I'm in this mental state, I've already done the sabotage, what can I do now? Like, even if it's just a little thing. And so I cleaned my crystals, and I cleaned out my drawer, made space, and I uncluttered my desk, and it was a small thing. It only took me an hour and a half or so of my day, and then I went out to the movies and saw a really awesome Feel All the Feels family comedy about a dog that reincarnates. It's called A Dog's Purpose, and it's very spiritually conscious themed, as I find most children's movies these days. So if you ever like doubt you want to go to the movies and have some fun, but you don't, there's nothing in there that seems adult or whatever enough or enjoyable enough, go catch a kids flick, man. They're super funny, they're super things, and it was also, you know, as I was fighting off the tears in many parts of this movie, I could hear the commentary and the people sobbing behind me and stuff. I have to sit at the front because of the wheelchair, but it was a really cool experience, really good movie. I recommend checking it out. It's A Dog's Purpose. Anyways, back to the thing I was talking about, self-sabotage. I did it yesterday, but I found as soon as I realized that it was self-sabotaged, realized that it wasn't aligned with my soul, and realized that I was putting myself into this, not poor me, but a little bit poor me, whatever you wanted to describe it, it was negative. It was a negative state, and you know, my energy came out of it when I realized about the creative solutions and I did the other stuff. I definitely felt more up. Still didn't feel fully good, and even today I still have not fully got into what I need to do to be completely aligned with my soul, but I am making creative solutions to get around the low energy. I'm not making those sabotage decisions today, and I know from past experience that, you know, 2 or 3 days of making making high vibe choices, and you'll be back to feeling it, back to more intuitive to what you should be doing, back to willing and ready to work hard, back to not needing as much sun to feel good and to strike at your day. I mean, the weather does affect you, but it affects you less when you're making high vibe choices. I find in my own journey that as soon as I make one low vibe choice, then all the other ones get easier to make. So be aware of that. One low vibe choice isn't just one low vibe choice. It's a doorway. It's a fork in the timeline, and it's you accepting something that against your willpower, against your higher self's knowing. And it doesn't mean that you can't make those, and it doesn't mean that when you make those you need to beat yourself up or that you can't enjoy them or not, but it's just awareness of yourself, awareness of what you're doing. Sometimes low vibe choices are just what you needed to make to meet that person or decide to watch TV that day when you don't normally watch TV. You know, it's all about trusting your intuition, becoming more in tune. And for me, food is a low vibe choice because I've struggled with it so much, because it's been something that I've classically told myself, no, I'm going to eat this way for this length of time, and then I break it, or I do a thing with myself and I rationalize just like an addict would with anything. Definitely consider myself a carb addict, probably, especially late night. But awareness. Yesterday was a big breakthrough in my awareness. So, you know, maybe that's what I was supposed to be doing. I understand now that even in those, when making those choices, and even though I know I can bounce back and start making high vibe choices, to just appreciate where I am and take it moment by moment. And if I find myself in a negative state of mind because I made low vibe choices, to try and turn that into a positive, or find a creative solution, or just do something high vibe to maybe balance it out. And high vibe is where to live at. The more high vibe, discipline choices that you can make, choices that are aligned with your soul, then the higher you will vibe and the easier making those choices becomes. The last thing I want to say about it is low vibe, to accept yourself, you know, like I said. And also, just because, you know, right now I'm trying to be a person who doesn't drink, because I find it takes away from my, it's not something that I enjoy, but it's not something that I've ever needed in my life. And when I do break down and do it, it takes me 3 or 4 days to get my energy back. Whereas, and food, you know, it doesn't take me 3 or 4 days to get my energy back, but it makes it really hard for me to make my choices. Screens. I can get very easily pulled away from what I'm doing by screens, and my autopilot unconscious habit that I've formed with screens is go to the computer, go on Facebook, check my email, check my fantasy sports. And then when that gets boring to me, and then I go on my phone and I check Instagram and I check Twitter, and before I go to bed I always read Snapchat Discover. And there's lots of really good things in all of those, but the way that I do it is unhealthy, and I've recognized that, and now that's become something that I have to find a different way to enjoy, or find a way to move it into my high vibe choices, so that it doesn't become a low vibe choice, so that it doesn't become something that wears on me every time I do it, like food does. So be aware of your cycles, be aware of your low vibe choices, be aware of how they affect your daily life, and be aware that yours are going to be different than other people's. A lot of ours will be similar, but in different ways, and that you have to be aware of your own. For some people, having a couple drinks is just what they need to allow them to get out of their shell and feel something, and it doesn't affect them days into the future. Maybe mine only affects me because I was such a heavy drinker for most of my life that my liver's like, oh no, please don't start that. We know that once you pop on that, it gets very hard for you to I'm not a moderate drinker. Usually if I start drinking, I'm going to get drunk. And I've never been, except for a few times, an everyday drinker, but a weekend warrior, a binge drinker is something that has been part of my cycles, or the way that I like to enjoy that particular substance. Anyways, my point is that everybody has different things, and only you will find out what's true for you, and if you're in tune with yourself, then you'll figure out what's good, and you'll maybe make these mistakes, and it may set you back, and may make low vibe choices in it, but as long as you continue to be aware of yourself, continue to try, continue to find creative solutions, and not beat yourself up, then it's okay to go back. We have to keep doing these cycles so that we can keep learning the little, nuances, the little tiny details in all of these theories that we're forming. Go back and learn a lesson again just so that you can be sure it's true. I've always looked at it as once I make a low vibe choice, I'm set back, but that's a lack mentality. It's, no, I made this choice and now I need to make the best of it, and I'm going to make the best of it, and oh wow, look, I learned another couple things from doing it, so obviously it wasn't all bad. And when I'm supposed to be making all the high vibe choices and it comes easily to me, that's when I get shit done and whatnot. And maybe my goal is to make that a more permanent thing in my life, especially not to succumb to my classic cycles and my classic addictions and things like that. But it's going to happen from time to time. And as long as you keep learning from it, and as long as you keep moving forward, and as long as you keep accepting yourself and trying to be creative and learn, then you're going to be just fine. Keep on keeping on. Don't ever give up. And if you give up, accept that that's where you are now, and that things will continue to play out. At least you have all this knowledge still stored there for when you want to get back to it. It's not the end of the world. In my awakening path, I've given up a whole bunch of times, completely. And then, and then it creeps back in that I should be doing better, I should make this decision, and some piece of information will come to me that it really charges me up and makes me want to do that. So anyways, self-sabotage part 2. It's easy to do in January. It's easy to do anytime in life, but anyways, I'm just going to end the video. I feel like there's another little nugget in there that wants to come out, but apparently it's going to come out another day, or you guys might have to be like a secret song on an album. You guys will be sitting here for 20 minutes while I hum and haw and ah, waiting for that little nugget. But if it comes out, maybe I'll put it in the comments, maybe I'll just add it on to my video tomorrow. I'm definitely going to do that the vegan one tomorrow, and I'm really wanting to do my political stuff, call to action, but that's what all the self-sabotage is about. I've talked a big game about this. It is my goal. I feel like it's my purpose, and that's scary, and it's a lot of work. Maybe I shouldn't say that, because I don't know what the future holds. Maybe it comes really easy to me, but it's scary, and it's big, and it's exciting, and it makes me want to sabotage myself. Makes me want to do something to put it off for one more day. It makes me scared, and that's a good thing. Yeah, I posted a thing on my Instagram yesterday. Maybe this will help you on Instagram. That the comfort zone is a beautiful thing, but nothing grows there, and it's true. And my house, we call it the bubble because it is an extremely comfortable zone for almost anybody that enters it. And a lot of growing has happened here, so maybe that isn't exactly true, but the growing that's happened here is outside of comfort zones for sure. Maybe that's why, maybe it's not the house that's a comfort zone, it's that my comfort zone definitely exists here. But the bubble is a loving place where comfort zones can be, you can be outside of your comfort zone, but in a comfortable place. Maybe it's just, it's a place to expand. They say that by going outside of your comfort zone, facing your fear, and loving and learning outside of your comfort zone by growing, you've expanded your comfort zone. You're now going to be able to go to this thing that you used to fear, and now that be part of your comfort zone. You've expanded, and that is a big spiritual theme in a lot of things, is expansion. We need to expand. We're constantly expanding. The universe is expanding, and so yeah, get outside your comfort zone and do the things you fear. And I need to take my own advice and be careful that when you have something you're really excited about but is also scary, that you don't sabotage yourself. Doesn't mean that you have to, like, you go through the door and you don't like it, then you can always come back through the door. You know, just because it's scary, it doesn't mean that your life's gonna end or something like that. I don't mean, like, for free climbing cliff climbers or something, maybe your life ends. But to just go out and do something, like, just to put yourself out there, like, the worst that's gonna happen is your ego gets hurt or your self-esteem gets hurt or something, and that can be bad. But you can always usually go back through the door that you went through. You go in, you check it out, you say, hey, this room is not for me. I'm not going to expand my comfort zone there. I'm not fearful of it anymore, but now I know that that's not for me, and I come back to regular. So get out, face your fears, try it out, and be aware if all of a sudden you find yourself procrastinating, so sabotaging a lot more, well, that's probably why. It's probably because you just need one more day before you can go through that door. Anyways, I love you all. Later days, my friends. I love you all so much, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with the vegan video. Oh. Why are you not?